Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. For today's video, I'm going to be reacting to your guinea pig cages. I have done so many of these videos before, but you guys just keep wanting more, so I have gone through my email and I have collected 10 guinea pig cages to react to. If you're interested in submitting your guinea pig cage for a future video, you can email it to autumngracebusiness@gmail.com. And there's information down in the description about what kind of things you should include in your email so that I can properly review your cage. I also want to do a bunny setup reaction video soon. People have been asking me for a very long time, and I do want to do that. So if you would like to send me your bunny enclosure, bunny room, bunny setup, however you keep your bunnies, please feel free to also email that to me. Again, all details about what you should include in your email will be in the description. But before we get started with these cages, a brief disclaimer as always. I am not a professional. I am not licensed or in anything. I'm not a vet. I'm none of those things. I'm just a person giving their own opinion based on the things that I have learned and information I have, what's the word? Absorbed, I guess, over the years. So none of this is a professional opinion. It's just my own thoughts. So, please just do what you think is best for your pigs. And I'm just here to give my opinion. And of course, all these people willingly sent in their cages for me to review. So that's what I will be doing today. Very excited. So let's go ahead and get started with cage number 1. So this cage says, "Hi, my name is Gray, and I have 2 female guinea pigs. I don't know their age. They are in a 4x7 CNC cage. I have added some more hides, and I'm going to get more chews and toys for them soon." So first of all, obviously 4x7 for 2 females is an excellent size. There is so much space in this cage. I think it does need some more hides just because it is so large. You don't want them to feel like they're out and exposed and in the open. So I think more hides could be great. You also just have like so much space for it. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here to make this cage super exciting. But overall, you definitely have all the basics down. I mean, we have 2 litter boxes with hay in them, free piles. I love that. 2 water bottles, food bowls, toys, fleece forest, tunnels, all sorts of things. I just think some more hides would be nice just because you have the space. Obviously, you do have at least 2 hides for 2 pigs, but there's just so much space. I think there's a lot of opportunity here to fill it up with more hides. So I definitely recommend that. And I also like your little light strip around the edge. I'm assuming they don't chew it, especially because it looks like it's one of those like rope LED light type things. But overall, great cage, great size, and I love it. Good job. All right, now cage number 2. This one is an outdoor cage. This says, "Hi, my name is Sophia. I live in England. I have 3 female guinea pigs who are all sisters. I got them at 8 weeks old and they will be 2 in October. They live in an insulated, weatherproof hut in my garden, which my dad has made. There are 2 sets of doors. One is made of mesh to ensure good airflow and to stop predators and bugs entering. In the winter, the doors are always shut and I have a heater. Inside is 5 by 2 feet, double story with a 3 foot by 4.5 foot extension. As you can probably see, their extension is a strawberry theme. Thank you for taking the time to review my piggy's cage." So first of all, obviously I would not recommend those of you who live in the US to offer any sort of outdoor cage, of course, unless it is weatherproofed, AC regulated, heat regulated, just because in the US the weather is a lot more like up and down than over in the UK and England. Like from here it'll go like from 90 in the summer to like 20 in the winter, and that's just obviously not okay conditions for guinea pigs to just live in. So you'll want to make sure if you're doing some sort of shed or outdoor situation, it is temperature regulated, and that is what it sounds like she did here. She says there's a heater for the winter, and from my understanding, summers in England are much more mild. It's not as hot as it is here. So it's probably fine. Obviously, I don't live in England, but from what I know about a lot of guinea pig and bunny keepers in England, the weather is not as like fluctuating as it is here, and it's a lot safer of conditions to keep your guinea pigs outside. They also have less predators from my understanding. Like here we have coyotes, all sorts of stuff that I don't think are as prevalent in England. Again, I could be wrong, but from what it sounds like, this is a good outside setup. I mean, it's been predator proofed and it's so cute too. Like the outside of this shed here, I just absolutely love the doors. It looks so like precious. It's so quaint. I love that. And it does look like a really good size. Because there is the extension added to the hutch, I think that's really good. Without the extension, I don't think this cage would be large enough, but with the extension, obviously there is enough space for all 3 guinea pigs. There's plenty of water bottles, there's plenty of hay, there's plenty of houses. And the strawberry theme is super cute as well. So I wanted to share this one because this is a really good example of what a good outdoor enclosure for your guinea pigs looks like. A lot of people just toss them outside in a hutch, and that is not enough for them. They're gonna need more space than a hutch typically provides, which you can see she did with this extension here. And also there's issues like predators and weather, which she has also accounted for with the door, the building, and also the heater for the winters. And obviously if you live somewhere where it gets hot, you would also need AC for the summers, but I don't think it gets as hot in England. So I really don't have any critiques on this cage. I think it's great. I think there's lots of space, and I think it's a really good example of what you could do if you don't want to keep your guinea pigs directly inside your house. All right, cage number 3 was sent to me with no notes in the email, just this photo. So I'm just gonna react to the photo. It looks like there are 2 guinea pigs in here. That would be my guess. And we got a fleece forest, 2 hides, and looks like the LA Guinea Pig Rescue hay rack full of hay, 2 water bottles, a couple of toys. So overall, I think it's a pretty good cage. I think there is room for maybe a few more toys or another hide or something. You have room there, but overall, it definitely meets all of the basics. It covers everything they need. They've got toys and such, maybe a couple more stuff, unless you rotate the hides, that can also make it interesting for them. But overall, obviously I have no notes about the cage, but it does look good. So thank you for your submission. All right, cage number 4. Hi, I am Emily. I have 5 female pigs who are all rescues and get along wonderfully. And then she included this really cute photo of them in all their little Christmas hats. They live in a 20 square foot cage and I'm going to upgrade it soon. I'm open to any suggestions. So 20 square feet for 5 females, that's about 4 square feet per female. I would definitely upgrade soon just because it's better to be like between 5 and 8 per female. I normally try to range for around like 7 and up. Like I think my female pairs have about 7.5 square feet each. And same for my herd, they each have 7.5 square feet each when you like divide up the square cage footage. So since you have 5 pigs, I would definitely go bigger, maybe closer to 25 or 30 square feet, just off the top of my head. You could always do like an L-shaped cage or something. I don't know how your room is laid out, but I'm sure there's space to upgrade it as you said you were going to do. And then as far as hides and hay, it looks good. There's hay in multiple places. There's a decent number of hides. I honestly don't think you can fit many more considering the size of this cage, but once you upgrade, I would try to have like 6 hides at least in there, 1 for each pig and then an extra. I think there's technically 6 hides in here right now, but some of these look a bit too small for your pigs to fit in. Like the tiny rainbow tunnel, I'm not sure if they can fit in that. And I'm not sure the size of the little pink tube. It's just kind of hard to tell. But if they can fit in them, that's great. But you want to have 6 decent size hides, and it'll be easier to fit that once you upgrade as well. And then I did have a question. Is your white guinea pig in the corner of this litter box, has it been dyed pink? I can't tell if it's the lighting in the photo or what is going on, but it looks like your guinea pig has been dyed pink. I just want to say I do not recommend dyeing your guinea pig. There's just no benefit to it. And even if the dye is, you know, non-toxic or pet safe or whatever, it's just going to be a stressful process for your guinea pig to dye it since they are prey animals. And I just overall don't believe it's necessary. I know some people do it and their pigs are fine with it, but I just see it as like an unnecessary thing that could possibly stress them out. It looks like it's not dyed in the other photo, or maybe the dye is like washed out. I really can't tell, but I just had to note that because I'm sure other people were gonna see it, that it does look like you've dyed your guinea pig pink. Maybe it was a one-time thing, who knows? But overall, I do think it's a good start to a cage, and once you expand and probably add some more toys, I think it'll be excellent. All right, cage number 5. Hello, absolutely love your channel and always watch. Thank you. Please see my cage for 2 female piggies I've had for 6 years. I started with a pet store cage and I began watching YouTube and decided to upgrade. They are very chilled pigs who love to snooze but have no problem running when the food comes out. There's no food bowls as I scatter feed. They do have a water bottle, but it is just not seen in the photo. All right, so the pictures were like a little tilted, so I tried to make them the best possible so you could see what's going on, but it looks like an L shape. I don't think they mentioned the square footage, but just looking at it without doing any math off the top of my head, it does look like a decent sized cage for 2 females, even more than decent. I think it's a pretty good size. Like, it looks larger than the typical pair cage. I like a little bit of fleece over the hay area. That'll make them feel nice and secure. I like the hay piles. There's plenty of hides. Looks like there's a couple of toys. I think you could probably get away and they'd appreciate if you added a couple more toys. But overall, I don't really have any notes. I think it looks really good. Thank you for your submission. All right, this is cage number 6. I know we're looking at a lot of photos here, so let me read the email and walk you guys through it. My piggies' names are Cheesecake, Chip, and Chuck. Those are very cute. They are 3 males and are all in separate CNC cages. I have shower curtain liners for the floor, hay bags, and I usually have toilet paper rolls for them to play with. They didn't have any available right now. I think they could probably use some more toys. Do you have any recommendations? They don't get along when they're in the same enclosure, but they do great with this setup. They socialize but won't hurt each other. Anyway, hope you include me in a future video. Well, hi, you have been included in a future video. Thank you for submitting your cage. So as you guys can see, there is 3 separate male cages, sort of like all connected, which I think is a really good idea. If you have males who don't get along in the same cage but do great with the barrier beside them, this is a great way to manage that. I mean, you can see they all can talk to each other, and the way it's laid out, like each of the males can see the other 2 males, which I think is really interesting. Normally people just line them up, but I think this is great that they can all see each other and all, you know, socialize and stuff. So I like the layout. It looks like each cage is big enough. I'm not going to do any math because I don't feel like counting the grids, but just looking at it visually, I think they each have enough space. As far as toy recommendations, I like a lot of rabbit toy websites. Usually they have a bit more variety. You can go to places like Well Kept Rabbit, Binky Bunny. There's also, I think it's Crazy Critter Toys. And then also the Pig Room has some toys as well. Those are sort of my go-to for toys. And if you go on Etsy, there's a bunch of stuff there too. A lot of people do like bundles of toys, and those can be really great options as well. So if you're looking to get some toys, those are my recommendations. I did have one concern about the, the pink like Easter basket. I just was concerned if they were going to chew on that, if that was like safe for them, because the pink on the wood could be dyed. That was just something that really stuck out to me. Obviously, I don't know where you got that, but I'm just gonna assume it's like a regular Easter basket and that the wood has been dyed. So I just be cautious if they try to chew on that. But overall, I mean, you have hay for everybody, you have hides for everybody. I think it looks really good. I did notice in one of your photos of your guinea pigs, which looks super cute by the way, but they're eating this like muesli, I don't know how you say it, this like combined pellet with these little colorful bits and such in it, and I just wanted to say that that is not the healthiest pellet for them. A lot of those little colored bits can be dyed or unhealthy or just made with foods that guinea pigs really shouldn't be eating. And I personally recommend to feed a plain pellet where it's just the pellet, no added like seeds or treats or colored bits or anything like that. My favorite plain pellets are the Oxbow Garden or the Shearwood guinea pig food. I'll link those again in the description, but that just caught my eye. And I just wanted to let you know because a lot of those pellets, they use a lot of unhealthy fillers, or they're not balanced correctly, or it's just kind of full of like junk food, so to speak. So it's not going to necessarily like hurt your guinea pig in the short term, but in the long term, obviously feeding them something with a bunch of junk food fillers and like dyes and such just isn't going to really benefit their health. So I do recommend switching to a different pellet if you are able to. Just wanted to point that out since it caught my eye. But thank you for your submissions. This is a really interesting way to like do your separate males, and I think it's really good. Thank you. All right, cage number 7. My name is Pauline. I am from the Netherlands. I've been following you for a while on YouTube. Love your videos. Thank you. Let me introduce you to my 2 boys and couple. So this is a couple. This is Basil, the neutered boar, and Sage, the female teddy. They live in a 2x1 meter cage. She believes it's 21 square feet. And P.S. they don't eat the wooden border. So I do like the wooden border. It's really cute. I haven't seen that before. I'm curious, like, what kind of material that is. I don't know. I just have never seen that, but it looks really interesting, and I'm glad they don't chew it. It looks like you have a hay bag, water bottles, and some multiple hides for them. I would add in some toys. I think that like star thing in the middle is technically like an edible bowl type situation. It looks like you may have one hanging toy, but I would recommend some toys that they can maybe roll around or chew more on, just a little bit something more for them to do. Or you could also put the hay in a pile instead, and that way they can burrow in it. But your hay bag is suitable. I just feel like we've got so much nice space in that like shavings area that you could really sometimes put in like large piles of hay, maybe like the day or so before you clean the cage. If you don't want to get too messy, then they can just burrow in that and go crazy. That's also something fun for them to do. I just think a couple toys would be beneficial just to keep them busy. But it's very interesting always to see people's cages from other countries, and this one looks really good. Thank you. And then, oh, I forgot. She also sent over a second cage. These are 2 neutered boars, Yoda and Yoshi. They are my wild boys. They have a 3x6 L shape, and they like to use their hay bag as a hammock, which you can see in the picture there. I change their houses around every now and then. And here at the rescue, they neuter all boars before adoption. So that's really interesting. I wish they would neuter all boars before adoption here in the US. I think in other countries, a lot of times the exotic like medicine is more advanced and they have an easier time neutering male guinea pigs. So that's great that they're both neutered. And I had to include the picture of your Callie guinea pig because I absolutely love Callie's. He looks so cute. But the cage looks great as well. I do think it's enough space for 2 boars. I'm not going to do the math, but just visually looking at it after looking at so many cages, doing so many of these videos, it looks like a great size to me. They've got a couple tunnels. They've got their hay bag, also some hay in the other tunnel there in the shavings. Basically the same notes as the last cage. I would do a couple more toys and then perhaps a hay pile if you want to also allow them to dig around. It looks like they end up emptying the hay bag anyway, so that could be fun for them. But overall, great cages, and thank you for your submission. All right, cage number 8. Hi, my name is Bianca, and this is my guinea pig cage. I have 2 male guinea pigs named Cookie and Biscuit. Their cages in my bedroom. They're in a 3x7 12-inch grid cage, so that's 21 square feet. I do use a hay rack, but the bars are big enough that they can fit their whole body in there, and they have never gotten stuck before, and also the bars slide right out the top. So if they do, I can get them out easily. Anyways, if you put this in your video, thank you. Well, guess what? You are in my video. Thank you for your submission. But thank you for all of the notes. This is a great size for 2 boars. 21 square feet is amazing. I love all of the little hides. I believe you said that little flower fleece forest in the corner you DIY'd yourself. I love it. It's so cute. I like the little wooden house in the middle too with the ramp. I've always wanted to get one of those for my cages. I just haven't done it. And I'm glad you mentioned stuff about the hay rack and the fact that they can easily fit out if they need to. I think this is actually not a bad one because the bars are so far spread apart on this hay rack. I think that's good. They can eat a little bit easier, and they're probably not going to get stuck like you said. The bars can come out easily, and they can fit their whole body in there, which I'm impressed by. Doesn't really look like they can, but I will take your word for it that they can easily get in and out. You could always pull a little bit more hay in the front so they can kind of graze for a little bit, maybe before they have to start picking through the bars. Overall, it looks pretty good. There's enough hides, and there's some water bottles, and I see like maybe 1 or 2 toys. I think you could possibly add a couple more, but honestly, they do have things to do, and it is a very interesting cage layout with like different places for them to go and hide. So I think it's great, and thank you for your submission. All right, cage number 9, I had to include, look at this Barbie pink cage. I absolutely love this, like just the vibes of this cage. Obviously I love the pink, you guys know that. And the vibes of this cage, it's just so nice, like the Barbie sign, all the pink, like I absolutely love it. I had to share it. So let's see what they said. Hello, Autumn. I have 3 guinea pigs. You'll only see 2 3-year-old females, and they're 3x4 CNC cage with 14-inch grids. So let me think for a second. 3x4 with 14-inch grids. Why am I struggling to do the math? I'm literally pulling up a calculator right now, guys. Like, I can't. So when I used to have 14-inch grids, this stuff, like, it would just come to me, and I would just know it. But since switching to 12-inch, it's 16 square feet. I knew that. Oh my gosh, I knew that a 3x4 is 16 square feet because I've literally used that size cage before. I can't. Okay, they're in 16 square feet, guys. My new baby is 4 weeks old and is in quarantine because I just got her. It's a 3x4, big enough for 3 females. I'd love any suggestions of things to add once all 3 are living together. They do have 2 waters and 2 food bowls. I'll up it to 3 once bonded. So now that I have done the math and figured out that it is 16 square feet, I would say you're good for all 3. I would consider like 16, 15 square feet the minimum for a trio of girls. And I think honestly, in my opinion, since the cage is more of like a square shape than like long and narrow, I feel like it works better for groups because they don't have to pass by each other so much. They're not cramped. They have like a square type cage, if that makes sense. So I definitely would say it's big enough for 3 girls. If you want to expand, great, but I honestly wouldn't worry about it. It's big enough, and with the shape that it is, I think that would work well. I would say you probably want to add a couple more hides once you have all 3 of them in here, just because it looks like there's like a hammock and maybe 2 tunnels, and you have space to do like something really fun in the middle. So I would think that maybe another hide could be good. And then it looks like you have a little litter box in the far corner. I'm interested if they're litter trained and if they actually use that. Mine have never understood litter training, so I have given up on that with them. But I would do a bit more hay. I would say I would just fill up that little bin more, or you could put hay in the back litter box in the back right-hand corner. Just because you're gonna have 3 in there, I would want a nice big pile so they can graze on it throughout the day, and you don't risk them running out if you're not around to refill it. But overall, I love the cage. I love the dimensions, the size. I just think with a couple more hides and a little bit more hay, you'll be set. And lots of toys, super great. I hope by now, if you've bonded them, I hope it's gone well. I don't remember how old this email is, but absolutely love the Barbie pink theme, and I hope you had luck with your bonding, or good luck if you have not done it yet, and thank you for your submission. All right, guys, final cage number 10. Hello, I have 3 male guinea pigs. The brown and white one is Coco, black and white is Chip, orange and white one is Cuddles. Those are cute, all the C names. They get along really great. We've never had any troubles. They're in a 2x6 with a loft. I will take any critiques and help you have. Thank you so much. I really hope I get to be in your upcoming cage review video. Well, here you are in my cage review video. Thank you for your submission. First off, I do want to say that I'm not sure if a 2x6 is going to be a good enough size for 3 males. I would say a 2x5, 2x6 is probably what I would put 2 males in. For 3, I would really recommend going up to like a 2x8 or even larger, or maybe a 3x something if you wanted to make it wider. I know you have the loft, but I don't really count loft space as like added square footage. You want like your square footage to be all on the same level, and that's what you would count towards square footage. I'm very glad they get along well. That is good. Trios of males can always be tricky, but it sounds like you have had good luck with yours. So I think a bit of a bigger cage would be better, just to ensure that their bond stays intact. I don't know how old they are. That can be kind of like, that can kind of impact their bond. As they grow older, they might get more upset by the smaller space. So I would just definitely upgrade when you are able to give them a little bit more space, because males can be finicky like that. But I see you have 2 water bottles and you have a hay area. For a trio of males, I might recommend a second hay area, just in case they want to like eat but be away from each other so they don't get territorial over the hay. Again, you said yours get along great, but I just always like to take precautions with male trios because you never know. But it sounds like these ones are very relaxed, so I'm glad to hear that. You've got a couple of hides. I can't really tell in the front left corner what kind of hide that is, but I see a tunnel, a couple tunnels, igloo, fleece forest. So it looks like you're doing good in the hide department. Maybe a couple toys. It's hard to see into the cage super well. Maybe a couple toys, and then I would just make sure they're not chewing that cardboard up in the loft. I don't know, just because you like wrote on it with Sharpies, I would just make sure they don't go up there and chew the cardboard. But overall, I think it's a good cage. It's definitely full, so they have plenty of places to hide. And I think once you expand it, it'll be even better and they can have more room to like get away from each other if they need to. But overall, wonderful. Thank you for your submission, and thank you to everyone who submitted for this video. That was the final cage. So thank you all so much for watching. As I mentioned at the start, if you want to submit your guinea pig cage or your bunny enclosure, there is details down in the description on how to do that. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be back soon with another. Bye!